Okay, hello everyone, guys. Good evening. How are you all? Good evening, everyone. So my name is Afreen Mam, and I welcome you all to today's session. So today's topic of discussion is Unit 26. This is different mode of charging securities, PPB Module B. So let's start discussing this chapter. I'm giving you a short overview of this chapter. Okay, so let's start discussing. If we talk about the meaning and essential of a contract. If we talk about the contract, see, in India, the law relating to the contract is governed by, first of all, you have to remember this name, the Indian Contract Act 1872. It is most important. All the contracts are governed in India under the Indian Contract Act 1872. These are broadly divisible into two parts. Part 1 actually describes the general principle of the contract, whereas second part, it describes with the special types of contract, indemnities and guarantees. So general provisions, it is in the part 1, and different type of indemnities or guarantees, this is actually in the part 2. Okay, now if we talk about the contract, so what is an contract? So if we are talking about the contract, what is contract, what is this term means, what is known as a contract? So contract is an agreement that is enforceable by law. See, an agreement, if we talk about the agreement is a broader concept. Okay, agreement is what? It is a broader concept. It refers to the mutual understanding or agreement, arrangement between the two parties regarding some particular rights or situation or anything. An agreement, it can be oral or it can be in written. So agreement is a broader concept. Contract is a narrower concept. Contract means those agreement which are enforceable by law. It has two main essence. First of all, an agreement between two or more persons. So contract considered, there should be an agreement between two or more persons. Third, second, it should be enforceable by law. It means that the right and obligation arising out of it, which means it is actually under the legal obligation. It is enforceable by law. So there are something. First of all, it should be made by the free consent. It have a lawful consideration. It is legally binding. It is made with a lawful object, and lastly, it is not declared as void expressively in the Indian Contract Act. If we talk about the Indian Contract Act, there are some type of contract which are declared as illegal or void from the beginning. Like if you are entering into a contract with minor person, if you are entering into a contract with um, any other person which of unsound mind, if you are entering in a contract with insolvency, a person which who is actually declared as insolvent, so all these contracts are considered as expressively void under the Indian Contract Act. So contract, there should be an agreement between two or more person, and it should be legally binding, or you can say enforceable by law. And how it should be enforceable law? When it is made with free consent, it has a lawful consideration, it is actually made with a lawful object. You have done something, you have some legal trade between you, legal situation between you, and for this you have done an agreement. And lastly, it is not declared as void under the Indian Contract. Okay, next, if we talk about the contract and agreement, see, there is very important thing which you have to understand here is that all agreements are contract if they are made by the free consent of the parties. All contracts, all agreements are a contract if they are made with the free consent of the parties. Okay, means contract is equals to agreement plus enforceability. If we talk about the agreement, so agreement is actually a wider concept. See, okay, now here it is said that all contracts are agreement, means there is all contract which are considered as agreement, because for contract there should be an agreement between two or more person, and they are legally bounding. Okay, so if we talk about the contract, all contract are agreement. Okay, but it is not necessary that all agreements are contract, because if all agreements, if for all agreements to be considered as contract, it should be enforceable by law. Contract is minor concept, whereas agreement is a vital concept. You can say all contracts are agreement, because for a contract you need to be in an agreement between two or more persons. Okay, so all contracts come under the agreement, but all agreements are not considered as contract. Why? Because if the agreement is considered to be a contract, this should be enforceable by law. This should be legal binding. So this is very important. You have to remember this. Contract is equals to agreement plus enforceability. You have to just learn this Venn diagram. Everything will be clear by this. Next, if we talk about the key components of a contract, first you have to make a proposal. Okay, first there is a one person who signifies any will to another person, he is said to make a proposal. Second, when a person is accepting that proposal, then it is considered to be as accepted. A proposal becomes a promise when it is accepted. For example, someone proposes me for marriage. Okay, means he actually uh, gave me a, or he actually signifies his will to marry me. Now he is said to make a proposal to me. Okay, now if I accept the his proposal, if I said yes, okay, now I have given my consent to their proposal. So a proposal become a promise. I am said to have a promise with him if I accepted his offer of marriage. So a proposal become promise when a proposal become a promise when it is accepted. Clear? The person who is making the proposal, it is called as a promiser, and the one who is accepting it is called as a promisee. Always remember this. This is very important. Clear? Next, if we talk about the next thing, essentials of a valid contract means how a contract is actually valid. If we talk about the essentials of a valid contract, first of all, there should be a proposal, there should be a acceptance. A proposal becomes a promise when it is accepted. Remember this. An agreement, it can be written as well as oral. It must have a consideration. You must have exchanging something. There is no one-sided agreement. I am offering you something, you are offering me something. For example, I want to sell my car to you, you must offer me some money for that. There should be a consideration in the contract. Free consent, it should be made with the free consent of the parties. It should have a capacity to contract, means you should not be expressly considered as wired, means you should be of major by age, you shouldn't be of unsound mind, you shouldn't have any insolvency declared. So you should have a capacity to contract. Minors contract, if we talk about the minors contract is void ab initio. It means that it is invalid from the very first step. See, if we talk about the minor from the law, if a person is below 18 years of age, he or she is not actually in a complete position to judge what is good or what is bad, and that's why a minor person is not acceptance, or it is not accepted to have a contract with a minor person. It is void ab initio. It means that it is considered as illegal from the beginning. Clear? Now next, if we talk about the next thing, what are the type of charges? So if we talk about the type of charges, there are two type of charges: hypothecations and pledge. If we talk about the hypothecation, it is related to what? It is related to movable property. In hypothecation, if I am hypothecating some of my movable property to the bank, it means that if I default on payment to the bank has the right to take the possession of my movable property and sell it in the market and recover their money from that. Always remember, the hypothecation is related to the movable property, whereas pledge is actually the bailment of the goods. Pledge is what? The bailment of the good for providing security for the payment. Okay, so if you are pledging anything, it means that you are leaving anything for that. Okay, so pledge is the bailment of good for providing some security for payment of debt or performance. Whereas if we talk about the hypothecation, it is the mortgage of the movable property. Done? Clear? Okay, now if we talk about the hypothecation, it is actually without transferring. Hypothecation is without transferring, whereas pledge, you have to deliver the goods to the pawnee. Pawner is the person whose goods are bailed, and the pawnee is the one who is receiving these goods as a security. So this is the difference between hypothecation and pledge. See, pledge is always related to the goods. It is actually the bailment of good. You are giving your goods in return of some loan. You are actually giving them the security. In pledge, if we talk about the pledge, in pledge you have to actually transfer your goods to that person. Whereas in hypothecation, you don't have to transfer that movable property to them. Okay, always remember, hypothecation is for what? Hypothecation is without any transfer. Okay, done. So this is the chapter, and this is a very small chapter which I have told you. Now let us discuss about the JAIIB Super Elite subscription. So if you want to discuss the complete chapter, if you want to study the complete chapter in detail, you can buy the Super Elite subscription, which have actually all the access of the classes. There are different batches which you get in the Super Elite subscription. So these are the batches. There is Clash plus Crackers batch, there is Foundation batch, there is Master batch, there is individual batches, there is batches in the English medium as well as in the Hindi medium. So you will get the subscription. If you are buying the subscription of Super Elite, you will get the access of all these. Clear? Next, if we talk about the subscription amount, so currently there is 46% off which is going on in the subscription amount. You are using, if you are using the code JAIIB, you will get a flat 46% off on JAIIB Super Elite subscription. So obviously you will get the subscription in a very low amount. Okay, so thank you so much for joining this session. I hope that you have all enjoyed this session. If you have enjoyed this session, just please like and share the video, and if you haven't subscribed this channel yet, guys, please subscribe the channel and press the bell notification icon. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Take care, everyone. Bye, guys. Take care.